How do you make a documentary about a subject that doesn't want to be shown? Or maybe they can't reveal their identity due to safety reasons. That was my concern when setting out to make a documentary about my friend Ali, a gay Muslim man who struggles to maintain peace between his faith and sexuality. Ali is out and proud here in Australia, but back in his home country, he would be killed just for being himself. Ali's family doesn't know the truth about him, although he has a good relationship with them. He says he doesn't see the need to tell them and ruin things. I knew I had to keep his face and name and his entire identity hidden in order to keep him alive, but still tell his story, a story that is a reality for many others like him. I took inspiration from British filmmaker Asif Kapadia's 2015 film Amy, a documentary about British musician Amy Winehouse. Winehouse had been deceased for 4 years when Kapadia's film was released. Due to the lack of his subject, Kapadia utilized voice recordings of Winehouse singing, her interviews, personal home movies, her friends and colleagues' interviews.
When Amy made her mind.
Not on the boat. Yeah, the shows.
And Blake said to me, something's happened.
Amy Winehouse joined the infamous 27 Club in 2011 when she passed after years of drug and alcohol abuse. The 2015 documentary titled Amy by Asif Kapadia tells the tale of the deceased musician's life pre-fame, her turbulent public image, her struggle with substance abuse.
After he came back from America, married, that was the first time Amy tried crack cocaine and heroin. I'd used by then.
Broken parental relations, her body image, and her personal demons.
I don't think I knew what depression was. I knew I felt funny sometimes when I was different.
It's a beautiful and harrowing look into a public figure's personal life told by those who knew her personally and juxtaposes it with her public persona.
I was just hysterically crying. I was so overwhelmed. I was so proud of her. And I was just flashing our whole life, our childhood. And then she saw me crying. She grabbed me, pulled me up on stage and took me off the stage. And I was like having a bit of a panic attack. I was like, I can't believe this is happening. This is amazing. I'm so proud of you. And I'm looking at her trying to get some form of reaction. She went, Jules, this is so boring without drugs. And I felt really, really, really sad for her.
There are no talking heads in this documentary. In the 2-hour film, Kapadia memorializes the singer's life, career, and legacy, almost in the format of a eulogy. The lack of human faces talking directly to camera almost makes the film more human. The interviewers' voices act as the voice of God.
I spoke to over 100 people for this film. I interviewed just about everyone around Amy. Everybody spoke very openly, and that includes her friends, her husband, band members, people in the kind of outer circle, and her family members. They all spoke to us. I just did audio interviews. Yeah, I did over 100, and it was just a simple thing of we'd be in a room, in a sound studio, a microphone on a table, turn the lights off pretty much, sit in the dark and just talk. It became like therapy, because most of these people have never spoken to anyone before. They're not in the media, they're not used to talking, they've not ever spoken to a TV company or anything like that. So they're very wary of journalists, they're very wary of anyone that might be kind of in the music business or in the film business. So I don't think a camera would have been the right thing. So I just went very, very low-key, lo-fi, and that helped them open up, really. All of the visuals are made of archive. The audio that you hear is a mixture of archive interviews and my own interviews that are kind of seamlessly cut together.
Kapadia shares that the secret to making a good documentary is to find a good subject and to be able to relate to the subject.
I did a film called Senna previously, and someone had contacted me, and I'm a big sport fan. So that film was like interesting to me because I wanted to get into the psychology of like a supreme sports person.
He says his motivation behind making Amy was the fact that they were both from the same town in London.
She was a local girl, something about that, but there were a lot of questions. Really, I think for a good subject, you need questions that you want to answer. For me, I didn't really understand why the ending happened. How did it transpire that she was on stage in that state? Why did no one stop it? What was going on? Why was this long, drawn-out thing going on? I wasn't particularly shocked when I heard that she died. And then I just had a gut instinct that this film said something about my city, where I live, the area that I live, the city, and the world we live in now, that we were all somehow seemed a part of this. It was an instinct, really. And then you just have to have enough questions that you want to answer, and then we start the research process. She's a London girl, she's a local girl, she's an ordinary girl. There was something about it. She was like, just someone up the road.
Yeah.
But you're right, the ending didn't make sense to me.